Welcome, everyone. Hope you can hear me clearly. My name is Violet Sia from Enterprise DB APJ Marketing, and I will be your host today for our webinar on making your PostgreSQL database highly available. I'm joined today by Alok Minstra, Senior Sales Engineer at EDB, who is our speaker today. Before we get started, I just want to go through a few housekeeping items. Uh, Please know that this presentation is being recorded, but we will be sharing the recording along with the slides after the broadcast. All your lines are also muted, but if you have a question, please feel free to submit it in the Q&A box, which you can find at the bottom of your screen. Um, we hope that the session will run smoothly because Alok and I are working from home. So if there are any connectivity issues, we ask for your patience and understanding. This session is scheduled for 1 hour, and we expect the presentation to last approximately 15 minutes with some time for Q&A. If we do not have time to answer everyone's questions, we will follow up via email with you directly after the session. So now, without further ado, let me pass the call over to Alok. Over to you, Alok.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Violet. Okay, so hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, as per where you are. My name is Alok Mishra. I work as Senior Sales Engineer here in Enterprise DB and part of the Australia New Zealand EDB sales team. And today's topic is making PostgreSQL highly available. Okay, so let's start with our agenda today. So these are the points I will be covering during today's session. So first, I'll talk about who is EDB, but don't worry, I'll not take much of your time, not more than 2 or 3 minutes on the slides I have about Enterprise DB. And then I'll come to our today's topic, and I'll talk about the high availability basics and the terminology. Then we will see how high availability works. And then we'll see the built-in PostgreSQL options for high availability and how you can, which option is better for you. And after that, we'll see the multi-node architecture for high availability, which you may want to consider based on the built-in options of replications within the Postgres. And then at the end, we will also see how EDB tools can help you for high availability management and monitoring. Okay, so these are the points I will be covering. Okay, then let's start from a few words about Enterprise DB. So Enterprise DB is a database platform company for digital business. We provide software and services based on the open source database named PostgreSQL. Okay, so basically we are PostgreSQL Solutions and the tools company headquartered in Massachusetts, USA, with 16 global offices. EDB was founded in 2004, and since then, EDB has been one of the leading supporter and developers of PostgreSQL. We have 500 plus employees and 5,000 plus customers across the globe. One very important thing to notice here is that Enterprise DB is closely involved with and committed to the PostgreSQL community, and of course, contributing since 2006. Even some of the EDB team members have been involved with the community project since its inception in 1996, and they are still playing a key role in making the Postgres better for the world. Okay. Another important point I have to discuss here is the Gartner's recognition. So because of our strength and capabilities, which EDB has developed in a decade, Gartner has positioned Enterprise DB in the Magic Quadrant for operational database management systems among the other elite database vendor for consecutive 7 years. So I'll repeat, it's for consecutive 7 years, EDB has been part of the Gartner's Magic Quadrant. now Enterprise DB is the only open source based relational database vendor in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Okay. Uh, okay, so this is the last slides I have for Enterprise DB, and here I have something interesting news to share with you, though you might be aware about it. So EDB has acquired Second Quadrant recently in September 2020. And with this acquisition, now Enterprise DB has become the largest dedicated PostgreSQL company. Okay, so what does this mean to us? I mean, of course, now EDB is the largest dedicated PostgreSQL company after this acquisition. But it also means that now Enterprise DB has more customers than any dedicated PostgreSQL company, right? It also means that now we have more PostgreSQL expert, right? More community contributors, more committers. And it also means that now more innovations, right? And of course, our increased capabilities to address the new opportunities in various new and emerging areas. All right, so this is what we are, and this is where we are, positioned. Now, let's start with our today's topic, which is the high availability basics and terminology. So in the coming slides, we'll see what exactly high availability means, okay? And then we'll see the commonly used terminology in context of high availability, so that when I use these terms going forward, during the presentation, we all are on the same page. All right. So high availability. I have taken this definition directly from the Wikipedia. So Wikipedia says that high availability is a characteristic of a system which aims to ensure an agreed level of operational performance, usually uptime, for a higher than a normal period. Okay, so in simple terms, high availability is something that can help keep your systems, whether it is application, whether it is the database, whether it is the infrastructure component. So to keep your system available all the time to achieve the committed level, the SLA, the service level. We're talking about what the SLA means. And but of course, it's all about achieving the committed service level by keeping all your infrastructure components available 24/7. All right, and you can achieve this high availability by maintaining these three principle of high availability, which again I have taken from the Wikipedia. So the first principle says the eliminating single point of failure, right? The second one is reliable crossover, and the third one is detection of failure. And these key points, are going to be the center of our today's discussion. We will talk about each principle in detail in the coming slide, and we'll see how we can, follow up them to make the PostgreSQL highly available using the native Postgres features, the inbuilt features, also by taking help of Enterprise DB2. Okay, so before we dive into the key principle of high availability that we just discussed, right, let's quickly see a few of the most commonly used terminology in context of high availability. So the first one is SLA, right? Then what is an SLA? Basically, the SLA is a definition of the service level you plan to provide to your customer, right? So SLA for them is to better understand the level of stability you plan for a service that they have bought or are planning to buy. So, I mean, when you say SLA, it says that, okay, this is the service level, the agreed service level, or the stability of the service which you are providing to your customer. All right. So there are numerous methods you can leverage to prepare a SLA, but the typical one is availability of the service, right? And availability is typically measured in nines. So let's look into this table. What exactly a given amount of 9 guarantees, right? Again, this has been taken from the Wikipedia.